get rid of that first. Because last time I shot him first, and then the alarm went off, and I don't know if it was the camera's fault or what. But that happened, so this time I tried to see if I could prevent it, and the answer was, yeah, you prevented it. You see nothing. Hi. Alright, blowing that up might not have helped, but it wasn't on purpose. Oh, hey. Perhaps you're the reason my cover was blown. I don't know what you're doing. Yeah, that probably doesn't help when things blow up like that. Excuse me? Holy crap, there's a lot going on. Other things, I guess, I wanted to talk about. This was a thing I wanted to mention with Her Majesty, but I just didn't take the opportunity to say it. Her Majesty is... You remember how GoldenEye had a very unique sound to it? Like, how the soundtrack for GoldenEye, especially the rare one, was developed very carefully and very industrially? Her Majesty did something like that too. Not industrial, but it definitely had a very unique, one-of-a-kind sound. And that stuck out to me, and I thought that was worth mentioning. So I actually really like the soundtrack to that because it stands out. I just watched Living Daylights last night, and I feel like that one kind of had like a pretty 80s sound to it. And even this one, Die Another Day, a lot of high percussion drums. So that one kind of had a little bit poppy with some of it. But yeah, some of the things happen. Now right here, just save it, don't say it. Where you're the mask I was looking for. And then I can hack you. I don't know what for, but I can. Almost have it. I just realized these two are, well, I mean, I realized it once I started that these two were going to different wavelengths. They weren't exactly side by side. I don't think there's anything else around here. I think it's just touched this box.
Is this what you're looking for?
Maybe you should tell me.
For too long, the Western world has interfered with the Korean peninsula. With the Icarus, I'm going to scorch your demilitarized zone, and the North will sweep down and unify Korea once and for all.
Is that your definition of helping the world?
For the North Koreans, it is.
The only problem is that your secret is out. I'm not the only one who knows about this.
You mean your American friend, Jinx?
James!
I fear she is about to be the victim of a tragic industrial accident. Are you still with me, Bond? I'd hate for you to miss the demise of your friend.
You'll be next, Bond.
James! I could do with a little help here.
Alright, so Zhao is not right here. It's actually a completely different character that was basically made specifically for the laser fight. Goes by the name of Mr. Kill. His name is To Die For. And Bond does not... Well, firstly, Gustav, he has a glove, but not both of them. This is what I mean. First-person cutscenes like this, it doesn't look as cool. It just... Like, there's nothing interesting about the way this looks.
James! Switch it off!
I mean, the fight's accurate minus the Zhao part, because there's lasers going everywhere, all crazy haywire and shit like that. And Bond's gotta dodge them, and I also realized during playtest that which stick you use depends on what hand they're swinging from. So there's a thing. Well, I wasn't entirely upset about that shit from on Her Majesty, but like I know I vocally bitched about it.
James! I could do with a little help here. Nothing like cutting it close, is there?
We have to stop Graves.
Let's go.
I'm trying to think of a way to describe her outfit, because it does seem kind of familiar. And she's got knives all over her butt. Okay, so yeah, Zhao was not there. It was Mr. Kill. Mr. Kill died by getting a laser through his face, thanks to Jinx saving Bond. Shut up. Oh, she's gonna say that like 25 billion times. Get used to that. Shit, that was an accident. Graves only has one glove. He uses it to, like, tease, torture Jinx. I know that sounds weird, but that's basically what it is. He doesn't use it on Bond. They very clearly didn't bother including that because they didn't want to make a second model, so they just kept him in the full suit the whole time. God forbid you put any work into anything. What happens is, like, Bond gets knocked down, and then he has a special ring which can shatter any glass, and then that's when he uses that to escape. But during that cutscene interaction, Bond is not ambushed. Bond ambushes Graves, and then they do their little talkie spiel, and that's when Bond learns that Gustav Graves is actually Colonel Moon, who he thought he had killed, and Colonel Moon had been doing some DNA thingy to change his appearance and create the character Gustav Graves. That's also what Zhao was undergoing, which is why he looks the way he does. I don't think he finished doing it, but yeah, that's it. It's kind of a vengeance story, more on the part of Colonel Moon trying to get vengeance on Bond. I don't really think they ever explicitly said what the actual point of Icarus was, just that he was doing it. But it was like super suspicious because Gustav Graves didn't exist, and then he just pops out of nowhere during, you know, the time Bond was being tortured, and he's like, hey, look at me, I've got a whole bunch of diamonds. And that's because they were doing little diamond trades for Korean weapons and stuff like that. That was how they were doing it, so with Colonel Moon living, he could use that to, again, create Gustav. I saw you. And it's also where he learns the person who betrayed him, the MI6 agent, Agent Miranda Frost, turned on him, and that's what happened. So a lot of, hey, here's another file. A lot of important key notes right there that were omitted as Jinx utters the same fucking words 25 billion times. I am curious if, like, Halle Berry is just a bitch and she doesn't like people using her appearance, because I'm pretty sure, oh, I don't remember if it's Mary-Kate Olsen. I think it's her. Whichever one was in Beastly. Whichever one of the Olsen twins was in that one's the bitch who doesn't like her appearance ever being shown inside of any media, and I could totally believe Halle Berry having that same problem. Now, it's sad to say this, I don't quite remember what or why, but like at some point Jinx does get captured again. Oh, well. Maybe aim at that guy. So during this, like, Jinx is gonna escape with us, but it doesn't happen.
Take cover.
Take cover! Not normally. Because what they do is Frost locks her in a room, and they plan on using the Icarus to melt part of the ice hotel castle and then drown her. But then Bond saves her during what would be the next mission, but they reworked the next mission into something different.
Come on, James, we need to hurry.
Yeah. Let me pause for a sec. Okay, that's everything as far as my notes, so I apparently covered all the important details I needed to for that, which is good. I have to take notes for this kind of stuff. Other things I was thinking about, though, especially when it comes to this, is what I think is super fascinating about this is the idea that Die Another Day was the one of Pierce's films that never actually got a video game release. So imagine if things worked out a little bit differently, and during the planning phase for this game, they picked any other film. Like, firstly, they already did GoldenEye, so they wouldn't really have a reason to put GoldenEye in this game. But, like, what if they did Tomorrow Never Dies or World's Not Enough? Personally, I'm glad they didn't do that, because I don't want them ruining my favorite game. But that's World's Not Enough. But, like, it'd be interesting to see how that could have changed, like, how they could have done it. And after watching Living Daylights, I kind of think that maybe they should have used that instead of License to Kill, because like Living Daylights is much simpler in plot and doesn't depend entirely on like having to watch the movie to understand what's going on. All you gotta do is just use the airport and then the fight with Whitaker, and that's basically all you gotta do, because James never really has hardly any interactions with Whitaker. It's just like, oh, this guy's bad, and that's basically it. So they could have done that one easily, but like imagine if things had worked differently. Like what if instead of Goldfinger we actually got From Russia with Love or Dr. No or anything like that. Like it's interesting to me to think about how things could have changed and been different. So that was just a thing I was thinking about. Like the idea that they picked this is what's so fascinating to me, and I think again that comes down completely to the fact that this was the one that no one had done. Because Lord knows they didn't pick it for Halle Berry. Also, I do want to like mention, because I'm like, I mentioned the whole like, you know, what the hell is going on with my gun? Go back, do that again. That was really weird. Certain games I don't think, like I know I mentioned create like a legacy collection, you know, remake each film or something like that. Truth be told, I'm happy with things like From Russia with Love, World's Not Enough, GoldenEye. I don't think you ever need to remake those. I haven't played Tomorrow Never Dies, so I can't judge that one. But like, I'm thinking more along the lines of the ones that either haven't been represented or got represented in like the 8-16-bit era, which are not really good at all, like Live and Let Die, because I don't know if you've seen that one, but that's literally just you drive a boat the whole time and that's it. Like, I don't even think it was meant to be a Bond game at first, and they're just like, ah, fuck it. There was a License to Kill, that one came out, but again, like, they're really old and could go for a new coat of paint. God damn it. I can't see the stupid idiots to hit them. Alright, there, I got him. Now get... okay. We're about to switch guns here, because I can't take this burst fire right now. Alright, no, I thought I got him. Can we... no? No? Am I in the water? Is that why? I'm glad to know I took a full clip into your head and you still didn't die. But the reason also, I'm going all over the place with my thoughts, that I wanted to mention Her Majesty is because like the OST is so unique and all that, and I feel like, you know, listening to this soundtrack, you wouldn't ever really know that, because this is just boring, generic cinema soundtrack. So when a film especially stands out, like, it'd be cool to see how they could replicate, or, you know, if Rare did the music composition, I'm sure they would have fucking killed it. And that's kind of a thing I'm curious about. Like, imagine if they did a modernized version of Her Majesty, and then Rare was in charge of the OST or something like that, because I can guarantee you it would have been great. And I think I got a silencer for basically everything but a rifle, but I don't really care, because we don't ever really handle rifles. And didn't I... that's the magazine.
He's getting away.
He's getting away! But I do like this little setting, though, this environment. I think it's really pretty. The areas for License to Kill was pretty spot on. The way the actual fortress in Blofeld's area was pretty spot on. The airstrip inside of Goldfinger Part 1 didn't even exist, really. But the pool table thing was pretty accurate. There we go. I know it probably seems like I'm being a total hard ass on this game, but overall I think I'd give it like a 50-50. Like, it doesn't... it makes up for some of the most important things. Some of the most important things they kept intact. And I like that. Like, a lot of the most important dialogue is kept word for word. And the likeness to most of the characters, with the exception of Jinx, is pretty one-to-one as well. Like, they didn't do the Trevelyan. I say Trevelyan because that was the way I grew up. Like that, but, I was also based on reading opposed to hearing his name pronounced. Aim at the guy. Like, they didn't, you know, do a paint job for him. They did a paint job for Felix, but in all fairness, Felix got a new actor every time he turned around. Which actually is another crazy thing, because I was looking into it.
I need cover.
I don't really remember Felix being in a lot of these films, and that's what blows my mind. Like, I don't remember him being in Casino Royale, Quantum, Dr. No, Thunderball from Russia. I don't think it was from Russia. It might have been from... No, it was...
Oh, well.
It was Thunderball. There was 3 of the first 4 he was in. Because Goldfinger was 1, Thunderball was 2. So, well, I'm pretty... I think it might have been Dr. No, I don't know. Alright, we need to fucking back up and stop dancing. But the point is, I don't remember him really being around, and that's what blows my mind. Like, another thing I've wanted to talk about, I haven't had the opportunity. I've had opportunities, I'm a liar. I did grow up watching a lot of this stuff, but I also haven't watched a lot of these films in over 12 years. So, like, admittedly, my memory isn't the best, and honestly, I don't think I really paid enough attention or understood things when I was a kid, teenager. So that's kind of more reason, also basing it off of memory from years ago. Like, if you asked me to tell you about Thunderball, like, I can't really summarize much other than I remember the ending involving underwater in like, a spear fight. I remember that. But that's kind of, like, the extent of it. But apparently, like, Thunderball had a whole bunch of 00 agents in it that were all getting killed. And shit like that. Oh my god, is this infinite? Because we're not moving forward here. Wait a minute, wait a minute.
James, we need to hurry. Graves is getting away.
I want this. Okay, the answer is no, it's not infinite, but I'm glad we got this just in time. The Masterson. The Jill Masterson. Check out what it can do. Automatic shotgun. But it looks like right there at that bottom, it looks like it would be a grenade launcher or something. But who the hell, excuse me, aim at the guy. Who can argue with these results? Like, come on, this is a fun gun to use. I like it. Oh, the ragdolling. I wish I had thought to grab it sooner. Unfortunately, I didn't get the opportunity, which is a shame, because I definitely had the opportunity before. I thought there was a point to going up there. He's getting away? I'm so tired of you. Okay, we've basically summarized everything we've needed to up to this point. The only real thing worth noting is this is a 3-part, 3-mission film, but the next 2 parts are like 5 minutes each. So more than likely we're going to split this here, and the next 2 missions will probably just be a video. That's how I'm doing it in my head right now. How it turns out when we're done, I'll see. But right now, that's my plan.